Hi everybody, my name is Rebecca. Let's talk about makeup. So today I want to film an intro for a couple of projects, of panning projects that I am joining. I'm a little bit late with these projects. That's just the theme of my life this month. We're just rolling with it. So the projects that I wanted to join are called Fun Sized, let's see, what is it? The Fun Sized Pan That Palette and Better Together. And these are two projects from the Pantastic Ladies Collabs group on Facebook. And I was watching Leanna Dalton's intro for these projects, and the way she is doing it. By the way, Leanna Dalton is so much fun. If you want to check out that video that I was watching, I'll link it below. She has such, I don't know, do you have a movie or the type of movies that you like to watch sort of maybe in the background while you're doing whatever, and it's just a feel-good, comforting type of movie? That's what Leanna's videos are like for me. Just comforting and feel good. I really enjoy her content. So I will link the video where she does her intro for these projects as well. So I'm going to take a page from her, and what she decided to do was to pick a palette for the Fun Size project. And the whole point of that is that you take a pocket-sized palette, something that could fit into a pocket, and you pan that palette over the course of a year. Then she decided to take that same palette and add it in as one half of the Better Together project, where you pair two palettes to pan together over the course of the year. Now, I don't know if that's something that's commonly done in the panning space, or if it's kind of verboten to have a single product recur in multiple projects, but that's just how I'm going to do it. I think I might end up doing that with a few more of my projects. I have a list of 24 things that I really, really want to finish by the end of 2024. So if I can get more mileage out of that by putting them in multiple products, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know if that's how it's done, but that's how I'm going to do it. So the palette I want to pan for the Fun Sized Pan That Palette project is my Tartist Pro To Go. It doesn't have any other name. No, that's it. Tartist Pro To Go. And this is probably one of the oldest palettes in my collection, if not the oldest palette. I love it. It smells like chocolate. They took a little page from Too Faced there. I don't mind at all. I love scented products. Well, obviously it depends on the scent, to be perfectly honest. If things smell too much like Jolly Ranchers, I'm not really a fan, but chocolate, I'll get on board with that. And it's a really lovely palette. I have had it for a long time. And I kind of feel like the shadows still perform beautifully. They're creamy and delicious. This is definitely a color story that's right up my alley. I think it's very well loved. I know it doesn't look well loved. There is no pan in any of these shadows, but for a collection my size, with an attention span my size, you know what I'm saying? This is a well-loved palette. I would like it to be even more well-loved. I really want to get some more use out of this little one because it has been neglected in my collection for too long. So that's the one I want to pan for the fun-sized project. For the Better Together, I'm going to pair this palette with another very, very old palette, okay? This is the Dream Street palette. This is the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop palette. Now, this is one that's in my collection. I really enjoy, sorry, my nose is so itchy. I really enjoy this color story. I love the peachy neutrals with a pop of coral and turquoise. I just think that's so pretty. Genius color story. And I'm going to pair the two of these. I know this doesn't seem like a really intuitive pairing here, but I feel like I can get a kind of a rosy neutral look here and have a few more options for lid shades and maybe a pop of color if I would like one. And then I feel like I can do a more peachy neutral look here and bring in some of the rosier shades here, or maybe even the purple. That would look really nice. I think, despite the fact that these don't look like they're gonna go together, I really think I'll get some good looks out of the two of these together. This is one that I feel like the formula is starting to change a little bit, and I need to get as much use out of it as I can this year before it really does need to leave my collection. Hi guys, editing Rebecca here, really quick. I realized while I was editing this video that I omitted a couple of key elements. Rookie mistake. I really wanted to, well, I need to tell you what my goals are for these couple of palettes. That's kind of relevant to this project. I also wanted to swatch for you because that's like half the fun of these, right? So first of all, I am not going to be panning anything to completion. Either of these palettes to completion. That's just not in the cards for me. It's not my journey. At least not right now. I feel like the dedicated use that will require me to complete these palettes before the end of the year would suck all the joy out of makeup for me. At least for right now in my panning learning experience. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel at the halfway point of the year. If I get really on board with the self-competitive aspect of it, and I don't feel like it's going to bore me to death, then maybe I will change my goals. But for right now, what I'm going to do is for the Tartist Pro to Go, my goal is to have pan in every shade. And I think that's completely reasonable for me to accomplish by the end of the year, while still giving me time to enjoy the rest of my collection and have fun and introduce the amount of variety into my daily makeup routine that I personally prefer, and to play with new products, of course. For the Dream Street, I'm going to give myself a little bit more wiggle room, and I'm going to shoot for, oh my gosh, do you see that? A shade literally just popped right out onto my bedspread. Oh, I love that for me. That's just, oh, love that for me. Love that for me. Okay. Hold please. Disaster averted. I managed to get the majority of it repressed into this shade, that really, really soft shimmer shade that popped right out. But okay, minimal mess. And we got it back in there with the majority of the product. So I'm going to give myself a little more wiggle room. I'm all scared. A little more wiggle room with this palette, primarily because I think it's going to be a little difficult for me to pan this shade or this shade, simply because I wear blues and greens so rarely, and generally speaking it's just like as a pop of color in an eye shade, not as an all-over situation. So I'm going to give myself some more room on this, and I'm going to shoot for 50% of this palette, pans and 50% of this palette, and whatever the pans those are, we'll find out which ones I gravitate towards the most. I am going to be using these. My intent is to use these together. I know they don't seem automatically like they would fit together, but I think most of the time the look is going to be primarily on this palette with a few variations from this one, or vice versa, and I think that'll work well. So those are my goals. Let's swatch some of these shadows. So first, this is the Tartist Pro to Go. This shadow drive is, I know it looks really boring, but I just love this shadow. Look, okay, it looks boring in the swatch too. See, look at that. That would actually be a really nice light bronzer shade if I didn't want to use it as a shadow. That's Drive. It's just a really pretty buffing out color. This is Stylin'. This is Crisp if you wanted a darker and warmer bronzer. A little bit warm for me for that application. And then here are the shimmers. Oh, these are all so soft and creamy. I've had this in my collection for ages, and they're still just beautiful. This is my favorite shimmer. It is Hype, the gold one. I hope you didn't just hear my stomach growl. That was wild. This is Boss. Oh, so pretty. This one is Dominate. It doesn't feel quite as creamy as the other ones. Still swatches pretty nice though. Okay, there we go. That is the Tartist Pro to Go. And then here are the swatches from the Dream Street palette. These mattes are definitely drier and more hard pressed than the Tartist palette. So this one is Shooting Star. It's very similar to this one, except a little bit deeper and a little bit, I feel like it's got more pink in it. This is a peachy shade called Magical. These are still pretty nice mattes, even though they are a bit drier. I'm going to swatch the mattes first. So this is the Coral matte called Spark. And I can absolutely see like these three shades plus this together. That would be so pretty. And maybe this in the inner corner. Oh, that would be beautiful. Then there's a shade called Potion. Those orangey mattes that I'm not super fond of. And then this is Elfish. Nice deep brown. Look at that. Look at that. It's a cooler, well, no, it's more of a neutral brown, really. Really pretty. That swatched beautifully too. And this is Water Bearer. This is the dark turquoise in this palette. Ooh. Look at the pigment on these. Again, they're not as creamy as the ones from Tarte, but still beautiful. Okay, those are the mattes. Let's do the shimmers. They are still really nice. I do feel like the quality has changed a little bit as it's gotten older, but it's still really nice. Let's see if we have room for the shimmers here. Here, this is a beautiful bronze color called, whoops, I didn't clean my finger well enough. Okay, this is a beautiful bronzy color called Twinkle. Ooh, you see that? That is pretty. This is Stardust. My fingers are a little bit damp, so they might come off a little more foiled than they might on the eye by itself. So I'm trying to wipe my fingers off in between swatches. It's not quite as reflective, but still a very nice shimmer. That's Stardust. So that's Twinkle and then Stardust. I'm gonna have to put the rest on my hand. Here is a peachy shade, kind of peachy champagne shade. This one is called Sweet Dreams. That is lovely. A really nice inner corner shade. Even more foiled than this one. Super pretty. Oh, I feel like these are pretty interchangeable. That's slightly cooler. Then, wait, Moony. Is this a shimmer or is this a matte that I forgot to, I can't really tell in the pan. It's got a little bit of a, yep, that's a shimmer. Okay, couldn't quite tell. Nice pale one. That's the palest shimmer of all of them. And then this last one is called Kaleidoscope. Oh, that's nice too. A little icy, but nice. Those are the swatches from both palettes. So I think you can see that they didn't at first look like they would go together super well, but I think these will all be very complementary colors here. There are a couple that are redundant, but I'm not shooting for pan in every shade in the Dream Street, so I think we'll be okay. Anyway, so yeah, those are my goals and my swatches. So how do you think I'm gonna do? I acknowledge I am doing what all new panners do. Well, what I've been told all new panners do, and I'm getting in over my head. I probably am, but I crave novelty. And so we're just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna jump feet first, head first. I don't know. How does that saying go? I'm gonna dive right in and it's gonna be fun. So I probably will not do an update on January 1st or January 1st. That would be very late. I'm probably not going to do an update at the beginning of next month. I might not do an update until February just because I don't have a ton of time to work on these. I'm actually thinking I may not update until I actually have some progress, some visible progress to show you. So I don't know that it will be monthly necessarily, unless there's another project I end up bundling it with where I can do all the updates in one. But I don't know that it would be terribly fun to do an update just to show you not a whole lot of visible progress. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I'm excited. Let me know if you are doing this project and what palettes you are planning to pan this year. I will put all the details for these two projects in the description of this video. You can always follow along. If you are not a content creator, you don't make videos, that's totally cool too. You can put your updates either in the Pantastic Ladies Collab group, or you can post them in the comments of this video if you would like to. But yeah, we'll see how I do. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.